Hi guys, and welcome back to the Tegiwa YouTube channel. Today we're doing something slightly different. We've got a GR86 behind us and we're joined by Matt Howard, so thanks again for coming down. And we have this beautiful Infinity Design carbon intake that we're going to be installing onto this car here behind us. Thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, it's a great looking kit like all of them that we've fitted so far. It's got this prototype heat shield on it, so this has been on and off the car a few times, so the real ones, well, the production ones, look a lot better than that. Don't pay too much attention to it. But yeah, it's not going to be a full fitting guide, but we're basically just going to dyno this as it is with a standard airbox on it. We're going to take it out for a drive, see what it's like as standard, and then we're going to do all of that again with this airbox fitted. Looking forward to seeing what sort of difference that makes to the whole experience, really, in terms of, power on the dyno and what it feels like and what it sounds like to drive.
Yeah, so as always, it's available at tegiwa.com. It's available in this gloss finish here and also a matte finish too, depending on your preference. It retails at, I think, just over £1,000, but we'll put the price up just here below. Yeah, so let's go and take it out and see what it's like in stock form, because it's got stock intake, stock exhaust, see what we think to it. Not been out in one. So. And
we also have a scan gauge with us as well, so we can have a look at those intake air temps compared to ambient, see what this is like, and then we can compare it to this one as well, so we can see some actual, data to, actual numbers to actually compare the two.
Yep. Okay, let's go out. So we're out we're just about to take the GR86 out. It's in stock form, stock exhaust. Just get a feel for the car before we put the Infinity Design intake on. So
yeah,
Matt's going to drive, I'm going to show you the intake temps and the ambient air temp, and we can compare after the intake's on. So yep, off we go. As we can see, the intake temps at the minute are 45 degrees. We've literally just started the car up though, and it's 16 degrees outside.
Yeah, so as we're driving along, as we're getting some airflow through, the the intake is starting to, the intake air is starting to cool down. We're starting to get some flow through it, so it will naturally bring it down. It's now about 20 above ambient. It will come down a bit more.
Doesn't sound too bad.
No.
For a stock car, there's some noise from the...
Yeah, that's it. And to be fair, I've had a GT86 before, and that was really gutless low down. This would be the 2.4 is much better.
So, it seems to pull well, doesn't it? It seems to have a bit of torque.
So we're just trying to find out, what the throttle response is like, what it's like to drive, what it sounds like, everything like that. Just the experience of it with a standard airbox, and then we'll put the Infinity Designs airbox on and see how we get on. So just pulling onto the A50 now, into third. So there is a little bit of a, not quite a hesitation, but it's not quite instant when you put your foot down. But obviously that's brought the intake temps right down. We can hear the sort of the rumble of the Boxer engine, can't we? But
yeah.
We can't really hear that airbox.
There's definitely, you can hear some engine noise compared to some new cars.
Yeah.
But I imagine the Infinity one's just going to open up a world of roaring.
Yeah, hopefully so. Yeah. That's what you want, isn't it? When you buy these kits, that's what it's not just about what they give you. It's about, in terms of like power, in terms of your dyno printout. It's the whole experience, isn't it, of how we drive it, and the sensations and the feedback you get from the car.
We've just gone up a degree. We're 17 degrees now. And our intake air temp's 25 degrees. 24 just drops again.
So you can imagine every time you shut that throttle, what you're doing is basically shutting a door, and it's stopping any air going through. So any air that is in there, really, you will be sucking a bit through the idle air control valve, etc. But you really are stopping the flow. So there's a lot of time for that air to get warmed up by the rest of the intake path as it goes through. You can see. So I don't know if you can film the dash data, but you've got a nice little graph of where the power is, and it's sort of see the torque dips away. I don't know if that's like an emissions dip or what, but like if we go through that, we're going to crash.
18 degrees ambient now.
Well, there she goes, look. It's alright, it's a fun little car, isn't it?
Yeah. Seems to have way more grunt than a GT86.
Absolutely, yeah. I would go so far as to say I was a little bit disappointed by the GT86 I owned. So I didn't keep it that long, but yeah, I can see. First thing I thought once I'd driven it is, I can see why people put turbos and superchargers on them. But I mean, it depends where you've come from, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you've worked your way up or whatever from lower power cars, then it'll feel great. But I'd had a GR Yaris before it, and perhaps a little bit unfair to expect it to be.
Totally different ball game, isn't it? After you've had a turbo car.
Absolutely.
But intake temps were as low as 21 degrees. We saw.
Yeah, I think generally
they're hovering about 23 to 25.
Yeah, so we're up to 18 ambient now. So we're hovering about 5 or 6 degrees above ambient as we just drive around.
Yeah, it feels good for stock, but
yeah,
interested to see how much the airbox can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Transform it.
It's a nice base to start from, but yeah, personally, I would like a little bit more noise from the front.
For sure. I think that's the big thing about a naturally aspirated car, isn't it?
Especially the Boxers as well.
Intake noise is sort of not everything, but it constitutes to a big part of having.
Yeah, I think it's a big strength. I think you can get some great noises out of a naturally aspirated car. You don't have that, turbo spoolie noise. And I mean, there's a time and a place for that. I quite enjoy it on some of the cars, but there's, for me and a lot of old money car enthusiasts, you can't really beat that roar of a naturally aspirated engine.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll pull in, we'll get it on the dyno, see what it performs like with the stock intake, and unbox the kit and go from there. Mm-hmm. So we've just been out in the car on the road in stock form, strapping it to the dyno now. The car felt good. We looked at the intake temperatures, ambient air temperature, and just got a feel for the car, overall experience. But yeah, the car looks mega. We supplied these Enki wheels and all the white line suspension arms and stuff. So yeah, let's see what it makes in stock form. Put it in, baby.
Right, so the chaps at Infinity have finished fitting the airbox to this GR86. A couple of little design points I want to talk about. So there is a scoop in front of here, and just like the standard one is fed from this portion behind the bumper here, it's all one big void. There isn't a direct feed to it, you don't need it, and it's fed nice and far forward of the radiator, so you should only catch that nice cold ambient air that's flooding in through the front grille there. It takes a really nice gentle path here, no horrible curves or twists and turns. Nice Venturi effect intake going on here, and then just straight into the throttle body. So it's looking like it's going to sound really nice, you know, and we're just keen to see what it's like on the road and what it gives us on the dyno. So let's run it up, shall we, Dave?
Yeah, man. Let's get those dyno running. Yay!
Okay, so now that's the Infinity airbox dynoed. We've dynoed it standard and with the Infinity airbox on, so we've got both graphs here to compare. We have this little torque dip here, which we didn't feel when we drove the standard airbox out on the road. We definitely felt this one here, and on the car it's got a little graph on the dash that even shows this dip on the torque curve on there, so it must be an emissions thing. So it'd be interesting to see if we can feel it with the Infinity airbox on, because it's so much more pronounced just because the Infinity airbox has given us a real big gain here. So we're up about over 10 horsepower here in this section here, which if we just flick it back to RPM, about 5,400 RPM, something like that. That's where we're, up by about 10 horsepower, and at the top we're up by about 6. So about 5.5, 6 horsepower over this little range here, and it just keeps going just that little bit further than the standard airbox does, which is going to be nice and rewarding on the road. But this is where you're going to feel it, it's an actual faster car as such. We're up across the entire rev range from about 3,600 RPM onwards. Everywhere else it's equal to it. There's a slight section here about 6.1, 6.2 where it just gets overtaken very slightly by the standard airbox, but more than makes up for it before and after it. So we're going to take it out on the road now, see how it feels, see if we can feel that little dip. But as I say, I'm not sure if we will or not. I'm not sure if that's something that perhaps the ECU is just doing on the dyno here due to the higher intake temps. We'll see. But yeah, let's go and see what it's like.
Right, so we are about to hit the road. Just loaded up in the GR86. Let's go.
How does it sound?
Oh! Wow. Straight away it's...
So intake temps are quite high up, but that's okay because we've just been stationary for a little while, haven't we?
Yeah. This is what happened on the stock system anyway, isn't it?
We don't have all the clips in the bumper, I should say that, because we needed to get out quickly because we have a busy day of filming today, so it might sound a little bit vibrating.
Oh, we'd just like to say that the temperature's risen outside. The ambient air temperature is 24 degrees, and I think when we went out stock it climbed to like 18, so we are 6 degrees more.
We are quite a bit later in the day now. Probably this morning still. That's quite noticeable actually. It seems to make quite a decent change. Just you press
You can feel it. It gives you a punch, doesn't it?
Yeah, off it goes straight away. That's nice. I don't know too much about how exactly that works, but it just seems like perhaps the engine's just got access to a load of fresh air a lot faster. Fresh cold air. So our intake temp's now down to 28, 29. So we're sort of 4 or 5 degrees above ambient temp. That's better than we saw on the standard airbox. So straight away that's going to buy us some horsepower, you know, real world on the road. Yeah, that's good that. I'd say like it almost sort of the difference between the GT86's 2-litre engine and this 2.4, it's almost like that again in terms of like what you get low range. So we're only at sort of 3,000 RPM there in 4th gear, and it's yeah, really nice and responsive. Let's try now. So we're in 3rd gear, drop back as much as we dare. A nice bit of sound from the front now. No, it sounds quite a bit
fruitier.
Yeah, a bit more raw. Definitely going to see some MPG decrease with this, just because you're just going to be stamping your foot on the pedal the whole time.
You're getting all the up.
Yeah, that's it. It is going to be faster because you're going to be driving it like a knobhead everywhere.
It just feels a hell of a load punchier.
Yeah.
From the off,
yeah,
no matter where you've been booting it from, it's you're getting a.
And I think we need to hold our hands up and say that, like, you know, how much of that is down to the noise that it's making, and it might well be down to that. I mean, the throttle response is definitely better. Isn't that what it's all about, really? How it feels when you're behind the wheel.
For sure. It's everything that goes with spending that kind of money on an intake, isn't it?
Because once the bonnet's shut, you can't see it, but you can still really feel and experience the benefits of this airbox. Right, here we go. Good warpage coming up here. That noise is quite reminiscent of like rotaries, like RX-7.
Yeah.
You know, that's what my RX-7 used to sound like. Well, what I think it did in my head. It's actually pretty
when it
pretty
worked.
standard. Yeah.
So that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Infinity Design for giving us their car and letting us test it. And yeah, it's been really good. Matt, any final thoughts?
Just to say that it's a really nice looking bit of kit. It made a good bit of difference on the dyno and on the road in terms of actual power, how it felt, how it sounded. It just added to everything that I'd want to get from an airbox, really. You know, made a good difference, especially sort of like response-wise, low down. It was great.
Yeah, it felt raucous, the car did. As soon as we came out of here, you could from the passenger seat, you know, the noise was improved tenfold. All the way through the rev range, it was giving that, you know, NA bark that you get from something like this. If you do want one, go check it out at Tegiwa.com, as well as all our other Infinity Design intake. Please like and subscribe. Let us know if you want to see anything else in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.